Well, the big D is ready. Wait, hold on. Hold on, let me see. That, shoot, I think wait a minute. Alright, I think we figured out everything. So, welcome to my second mock draft. Yes, second mock draft on the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page. Driving to the production YouTube page, multi-streaming on my Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, multiple YouTube pages, all over the place today. So before I tell you about before I tell you about my mock draft, please subscribe, like, and share the Driving to the Top Productions YouTube and the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page. See all of you great content. You can also check out me, the Big D, Spotify and Apple for your audio podcasts when I host the Big D podcast. So obviously, we are a day and 5 hours from the NFL draft, and I can't believe. I mean, 32 lives are about to change tomorrow night in Detroit, and it's the hard work, sacrifice, and effort these young men put in that should be applauded. And hopefully, all 32 picks turn out to be great because it's not easy being a first round pick in the National Football League. And these teams go through months of process, and figuring out who's going to go where is not easy. So, before I give you my mock draft, I want to go through a couple of news and notes. One, the Detroit Lions signed a couple of important players, not just their current but future core, and that being Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell. Amon-Ra St. Brown signed a deal with the Lions to give him the most amount of guaranteed money for a wide receiver in NFL history. Well, at least until CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, and Ja'Marr Chase signed. Amon-Ra's been a productive player from day one, particularly the last couple of years. I think people underrate Amon-Ra because he's not a flashy wide receiver. He's not a big play down the field guy. He's not going to run 4.3. But for a 4.5, 4.6 guy, Amon-Ra is probably the best possession receiver in the NFL. And with Penei Sewell, I mean, Cincinnati Bengal fans may like Ja'Marr Chase, but I think Detroit Lion fans love Penei Sewell. Maybe the best tackle in the NFL. I'm not saying so, that if he's on the right side. But I really like what Detroit has done in being productive and getting after guys, not just the current but the future regime. Jared Goff is probably going to be next. So Detroit, with the NFL draft being in Detroit tomorrow night, could have stars now and for the next 4 or 5 years. So now here is my final mock draft. Obviously, everybody does like mock draft simulators or simulate the first round. PFF, NFL mock draft based databases where what I use. So figuring out what's going to happen tomorrow night is interesting because we can't forecast every trade. I do believe there will be many trades. I think general managers will be aggressive going after quarterbacks, going after linemen, wide receivers, pass rushers, heck, maybe even a tight end for heaven's sake. But let's start the draft. There is no controversy on who the number one pick is going to be. The Chicago Bears will take Southern California's Caleb Williams at 1 tomorrow night. I mean, the Bears traded out 1 last year. They're not going to do it again this year. The Bears need a quarterback. In fact, the Bears have needed one for 40 years. Really, since the Jim McMahon 1985 Bears era. Chicago has got a lot of really good pieces around Caleb Williams. They've got 2 excellent wide receivers in DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, a couple productive tight ends in Cole Kmet, Jared Everett, really good running back DeAndre Swift, and some capable pieces on defense. I mean, while the Bears might not have maybe the most exciting coach, I think the Bears have a lot of pieces around Caleb Williams and company. And the number 2, the Commanders right now will take Jaden Daniels from LSU. I mean, it's been some talk. Will the Commanders go from take Jaden Daniels or UNC's Drake May? I think it will be Jaden Daniels. He fits the Commanders scheme, all PO quarterback at LSU. And if you're the Commanders, you want somebody who can move because last year Sam Howell was sacked a ton. And I'm not sure that'll be any better this year. So Jaden Daniels, especially for his first year or two, can move out of the pocket, use his legs. Might be a little smaller than you want as a starting quarterback. Maybe a touch more arm strength, but fits a lot. I'm more of a Drake May guy, but I can see why the Commanders would take Daniels in 2. 3, I think this one the draft gets really spicy because New England needs everything. I think the Patriots need a wide receiver, an offensive lineman, and quarterback. And New England can't get all 3 of those with just 1 pick. And we know New England loves trading back. Even before Bill Belichick left, New England was always a possible trade back team. And I think the Patriots will trade back from 3 with the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings need a quarterback, particularly a young quarterback. And in this and New England can move back, get more picks. The Vikings have got 11-23 and could get the young quarterback they need. So here, Minnesota moves to number 3 and takes North Carolina's Drake May. I think Drake May's got so much untapped untapped potential. Everybody may say, well, he's Mitchell Trubisky because of the school. I think Drake May could be Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. It's just, but you got to be patient with him. I wouldn't play him this year. Sam Darnold's in Minnesota, and I think the Vikings would sit him on the side for a year, let him get bigger, let him soak up the NFL landscape, because the Vikings have got two good tackles, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and Aaron Jones, with a really good young offensive coach in Kevin O'Connell. That's a lot. That's a lot for a rookie quarterback to have. More than most. And I think Drake May also in a dome. I mean, Minnesota will play games in at least Green Bay, and then who knows when and if the Bears will build the dome. But you want a quarterback with a big, strong arm in Green Bay at least, and Drake May can play in cold weather. And 4, I don't think there's any discussion for Arizona here. I don't think the Cardinals are going to trade back and give up one of these primetime wide receivers. And the best one on this draft is Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think there's any chance the Cardinals trade back and give up Marvin Harrison. The Cardinals already have picks. They've got what, 2 1s, a couple 3s. So why would the Cardinals need extra picks? I think the team at 5 may very well be in position for one of these trade back scenarios. And there's a team that might very well fit LA's needs, and that being New England, especially with a couple of the picks from Minnesota. I think the Patriots could move back and then move up for one guy in particular, and that being J.J. McCarthy. I mean, whether J.J. McCarthy ends up being Alex Smith or Tom Brady, the Patriots arguably need a quarterback, and J.J. McCarthy fits New England. Smart, can move out of the pocket, winner in college. I'm not sure he's got a big arm, and I'm not sure how well he would fit with rookie defense-minded head coach, but C.J. Stroud did pretty well with the Houston Texans, so could J.J. McCarthy do the same in Foxborough? And then 6, I think the Giants will consider a quarterback, will consider moving up, but it's not going to be for J.J. McCarthy because J.J. McCarthy is too similar to Daniel Jones. By the way, I am a little concerned that J.J. McCarthy could be, a Mitchell Trubisky or Daniel Jones and might not live up to being a top 10 pick. 6, I think the Giants drafted one LSU receiver in the past, and I think they could do it again tomorrow night, and that being Malik Neighbors. I mean, he has got uber talent. I'm afraid he'll be desperate off the field, but he has got so much freakish athleticism. 7 with Tennessee, whether Will Levis is the starting quarterback in the NFL, I think the Titans have to protect him better this year because every time I saw a Titan highlight, Levis was on his butt. Yes, butt. And I don't think that'll happen this year, otherwise he won't last. So I think the Titans will draft the best offensive line in this draft, and that being Notre Dame's Joe Alt. What stays a tackle? I'm not sure he's a freak. He's not Jonathan Ogden. He's not Orlando Pace. But you get the offensive lineman in the first round, and Joe Alt could be a Pro Bowl, but I think he'll be a plug-and-play starter for a decade plus on the O-line. And at 8, everybody's drafting offense. Everybody loves drafting. then then wide receivers, offensive linemen, quarterbacks. I think the Atlanta Falcons draft the best edge rusher in the draft, not being Alabama's Dallas Turner. The Falcons have needed a pass rusher forever. I mean, since what? Johnny Man or Vic Beasley. And the Falcons have drafted everyone on offense. I think this year Atlanta, especially with a defensive-minded head coach, will appease wanting a pass rusher. And so at 9, I think the Bears could go a couple of different ways. But with Caleb Williams there, why not give him another weapon? Rome Odunze, one of my favorite players in the draft from Washington. I think he is a plug-and-play starter. I think he could be Keenan Allen 2.0, maybe even faster than Allen. And so at 10, I think the New York Jets would be okay getting a lineman, but I know what Aaron Rodgers would want here. Brock Bowers. Because honestly, I think Aaron Rodgers' career could be defined or maybe extended by having Brock Bowers, because Brock Bowers, I know everybody's going to say, look out, watch out for Kyle Pitts. And I'm like, Bowers played more of a pro-style offense at Georgia. He can block some, quite a bit. And he's more of a tight end body. Kyle Pitts was more of a big receiver at Florida. Bowers is that tight end mismatch. And I mean, Jets already have Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. They need a tight end. Brock Bowers can be that tight end. And so 11 with the Chargers. I mean, I think the Chargers could go a couple different ways, but all the wide receivers are gone, but not the tackles. I think the Chargers will draft Tadlisi Fuaga, the right tackle from Oregon State. Because I don't know about you, every time I watch Justin Herbert play, especially the right side of the Charger line has been awful lately. So I think the Chargers give Justin Herbert another physical, great run block and tackle. 12 with the Broncos. I think 12 and 13 are two popular quarterback needing teams. I mean, the Broncos need to settle this quarterback situation. Got rid of Russell Wilson and his $80+ million cap hit over the next couple of years. I think the Broncos have to get a long-term answer. And while he might not fit every offense, I think Bo Nix fits Sean Payton's offense. And yes, it might be a bit of a reach, but Bo Nix could be Drew Brees 2.0 in Foxborough. I mean, excuse me, not Foxborough, Denver, excuse me. And then 13 with the Raiders. I think the Raiders have to get a long-term answer at quarterback, because Aidan O'Connell and Gardner Minshew aren't beating Pat Mahomes anytime soon for the AFC West. I mean, I've heard rumors the Raiders want to get Jane Daniels because of the relationship with Daniels and Antonio Pierce back from Arizona State. I don't know if the Commanders would want to move back that fall. And that would mean a lot of draft picks, probably 3 ones and something else. But I do think the Raiders will ultimately get a Pac-12 quarterback, and it will be Michael Penix Jr. Because I think the Raiders have to get a long-term answer at quarterback. And Penix in a dome makes sense. Now, I don't know how he'll do with a defensive-minded head coach, but Penix has got probably the best deep ball in the draft. He can throw the ball from Vegas to Seattle and not end up wet in on the sand. So, and if you're the Raiders, you want to appease Devontae Adams because Devontae Adams is Vegas's biggest weapon on offense. So give him a young quarterback with a big arm. Now, 14. I think the Saints need to get a lineman. I saw a tweet where the Saints only have what, 2 linemen on their whole roster. Which is unthinkable. I think the New Orleans Saints will draft Olimala Fashanu, the tackle from Penn State, because the tackle the Saints drafted a couple years ago, not good. The Saints have to get a tackle in this draft. Otherwise, Derek Cole is going to be hurting again this year. 15, I think the Indianapolis Colts are a very interesting team to watch tomorrow night. Not just because they could be in the Brand New sweepstakes, or they could go up for a receiver. Old Brock Bowers. But right now I'm having them take one of my favorite players in the draft, Quinyon Mitchell, the corner from Toledo. Quinyon Mitchell ran 4.30 at the combine. Speed, coverage skills, be that top corner the Colts need. But I think the Colts could be a trade up if the Bears or somebody would move back, maybe the Falcons, because that 5 to 9 range could be spicy for trades. And the Colts could be going up the draft. Chris Ballard's never really a big trade up guy. That could change tomorrow night. 16, I think the Seahawks have to get more help for the defensive line. And that will be Byron Murphy, the defensive lineman from Texas. It seemed like every time I watched the Seahawks, the run defense was bad. Like if you watch them against Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. The Seahawks defenders, using my favorite terminology, couldn't hit water if they fell off a boat. And in this case, need to help out the interior D line. Seattle could be in the Michael Penix sweepstakes with the OC connection, but I think the Seahawks get another defense line. 17, my Jags. I think we go get one of my other favorite players in the draft, that being Tyrion Owner. Yes, the Jags could go get Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers, but I think Tyrion Owner fills a big need for the Jags. Tyson Campbell was hurt most of last year, so if he's back, he's a top corner. Tyrion Owner can be that could be a 1A or 1B to Campbell. And so 18, the Cincinnati Bengals, I think he could go wide receiver. I think he can go defensive lineman. But I think the Bengals need to give Joe Burrow more help on the O-line. And that means drafting J.C. Lake, the offensive lineman from Alabama. A mammoth of a man. .6'6", 359 pounds. Whew. The Bengals might have the 3 biggest tackles in North America. If they have with the tackles there. So At 19, I think the Rams stay in LA and draft Leito Latu, the edge rusher from UCLA. I mean, the Rams haven't drafted in the first round since what, the Millard Fillmore administration? And that very well may change tomorrow night. I think the Rams have to get more defensive help, especially now with Aaron Donald retiring. And why not stay in house, get the kid from UCLA? And so 20, I think the Steelers need to get more help on the offensive line. I'm not buying into the Pittsburgh drafts a wide receiver because the Steelers don't draft wide receivers in the first round. At least not since what? Santonio Holmes. So I think the Steelers will draft one maybe later in the draft, but I think at 20 the Steelers draft Marius Mims, tackle from Georgia. I mean, barely played this year, but offers a lot of potential. And so 21, Miami, again, they could draft a pass rusher, could go get a corner, but I think they draft Troy Fatanu, the tackle/guard from Washington. Because Miami's interior line needs more help. I mean, Robert Hunt signed a big deal with the Panthers. Connor Williams coming off a torn ACL, so that interior line needs help. Because Tua's not going to last if the O-line is breaking down around him. 22, Philadelphia. I think the Eagles go defensive back and draft Cooper DeJean, the corner from Iowa. Whether he's a true nickelback or true cornerback, we'll see. But the Eagles need to get younger, faster, and better coverage skills on the back end. Oh, excuse me. And 23. I think the Chargers will get a wide receiver here, and that is LSU's Brian Thomas. I mean, Brian Thomas, a big play 9 receiver. Even with Justin Herbert's arm, he offers a lot of potential. And 24, I think the Cowboys draft Graham Barton, the lineman from Duke. Whether it's a tackle or guard, I think Graham Barton or Fatano could both make sense here. I mean, there's a chance Miami could draft Barton in 21 and Fatano goes 24 or vice versa. But I think either one of those guys makes sense. And 25, the Packers have 2 needs, corner and tackle. I think the Packers will draft Nate Wiggins from Clemson, but Green Bay could be a team that moves up for a tackle or corner, maybe moves back and gets more picks. 26, I think the Tampa Bay Bucks need to get more help in the defensive line, and that being Florida State's Jared Verse. I mean, the Bucks do well with Florida State guys, Derek Brooks. I mean, Verse feels like a one-year wonder, but offers a lot of upside. I mean, it's hard for me to find a place on him, but I think Verse at 26 is a really good gamble if you're the Bucks. 27, with the Arizona Cardinals, already drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. Now it is the desert, right? So we have to draft the coolest guy in the draft, right? And remember back in the day where we always drank Kool-Aid? Well, the Arizona Cardinals might be drinking more Kool-Aid if Kool-Aid McKinstry is there. Because, I mean, the Cardinals need help everywhere on defense. So why not get Kool-Aid McKinstry? Show up the secondary. 28, the Bills. I think everybody knows, especially you, Bills Mafia, the Bills need wide receivers. So why not get I mean, could the Bills be in play for Brandon Ayuk? Yes. Could the Bills be in play for one of the big guys in the draft? Yes. Right now, I have the Bills taking Texas's Adonai Mitchell because even when Xavier Worthy broke the NFL scouting broke the 40-yard dash record, I think Adonai Mitchell may be a better football player, more complete, and will last longer. 29 with the Lions. I mean, Lions already made a couple moves today, locking up Amon-Ra and Penei Sewell. I think the Lions look to get another key defensive lineman, Jer'Zhan Newton from Illinois. Because Aiden Hutchinson, yes, the Lions made some moves in free agency, but Detroit needs more help stopping San Francisco, Green Bay, and the Rams. Throwing Dallas for that matter. 30, the Ravens could go defensive back, but I think Baltimore drafts Tyler Guyton, the tackle from Oklahoma. Because Baltimore, I mean, who knows how long Ronnie Stanley plays there, and Baltimore needs help on the position. 31 and 32. I mean, there's a chance tomorrow night or sometime in the offseason, Brandon Ayuk's not with the 49ers anymore. So I think the Niners draft one of my favorite players in the draft, Lamb McConkey from Georgia. Even if Ayuk stays, Lamb McConkey could be that third receiver, that slot receiver, a Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua, but maybe faster. And then for the Chiefs, I think it could go corner, tackle, but with the news, Rashee Rice could be suspended. I think the Chiefs draft Xavier Legette, the wide receiver from South Carolina. And so this concludes my draft. Caleb Williams, Jane Daniels, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr., J.J. McCarthy, Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, Dallas Turner, Roma Duzey, Brock Bowers, Tadisi Fuaka, Bo Nix, Michael Pennis, Rashawn, Quentin Mitchell, Byron Murphy, Taron Arnold, J.C. Latham, Lieto Latu, Marius Mims, Troy Fontana, Rupert DeJean, Brian Thomas Jr., Graham Barton, Nate Wiggins. Yeah, my voice is going to be. Jared Verse, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Adonai Mitchell, Jer'Zhan Newton, Tyler Guyton, Lamb McConkey, and Xavier Legette. Whew. And so this concludes the second and final Big D mock draft of 2024. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back more later.